Hello everyone, my name is Lauro Labastida Zabaleta. I'm student in the Escuela Normal Superior de Chiapas. Um, I'm 5th semester in the specialty in physics. In this project, I talk about a biography of Masami Kurumada. Uh, Masami Kurumada is considered one of the top authors in the history of Weekly Shonen Jump. Uh, was born on December 6, 1953 in Tokyo, more precisely on the island of Tsukushima, where he lived with his parents as the son, unique to the marriage. Simultaneously to his birth, Tokyo was still in a period of reconstruction for the ravage reserved by the war. It was uh, it was this time that Master Kurumada spent his childhood. Yes, he spent his childhood playing in the park and street and reading books that he got from leading houses. At the school, he was a normal boy. He studied and behaved well. At that time, he read his the first comics and manga like Billy Park, Tetsura Atom, or Astro Boy. Um, in his time, he was a regular student. Kurumada himself admitted that all subjects caused him problems except sport and language, and there was even a time when he had the highest GPA in the grade, but there was also a time where he must repeat that year for repeating skipping. It was at this time he came across Otoko Ipikigaki Taisho in the page of Willy Shonen Jump, the work of the master Hiroshi Motomiya. That work changed his life and motivates him to become a mangaka. At time where he was 15 years old, he joined the judo group, which would mark his future support for fighting sports. Kurumada began to make his first attempts at manga on sheets for illustrations, but because he had no preparation, he didn't don't know how to draw to panels or how to build the dialogues. He even drew in blue ink because that how manga were painted in manganese, and that how he thought it should be done. In 1970, when he was in his last year of high school, Kurumada began to wonder that he could do after graduation, since he did not want to continue studying or get an ordinary job. It was that he saw in the weekly channel job the innocent of a constant college job in which young people were invited to participate visiting their manga, and he decided to participate. It was then that the newsroom to the assistant were missing for Samurai Gents to the asked into collaboration. In this way to begin work for the first time as a professional assistant. In November 1971, Kurumada then began working as an assistant to Ko Inoue, cartoonist for Samurai Gents. Back to the actual everything was new to him, and due to his poor preparation, he used to make many mistakes. Um, Back delivered one apartment he had really in Shakuji. His parents had little faith in him and told he time the world to return to them. Uh, At that time, what he earned as an assistant was not even enough to pay the rent, so he had to find a part-time job in a shopping center where he grabbed his toy store. Finally, in August 12, 1974, at the age of 20, he made his debut in Willie Shonen Jump, the number 33, which he performed of Subeka Arashi, the story of a teenage supermarket approximately 2.5 years after studying as an assistant. That worked that during the years in the assistant had working many sleepless nights and that he had constantly sent to the publisher finally saw the light when this work has collected a volume back in 1977. Kurumada admits that he was so enthusiastic that I read it everywhere, all the time, in the restaurant, in the bar, and in the apartment. That how important this work was to him. Um, a few moments after publishing Fumano Kojiro Kurumada embarked on this network in 97-84. He summated Otoko Saka, a history that he had always wanted to draw ever since he became a mangaka. So we started with her. He was filled with a great feeling of satisfaction. Kurumada wanted to draw something like Otoko Ipigaki Daisho, his mentor Hiroshi Motomiya, but he the manga unsuccessful. He was cancelled in March 1985, only collecting 3 volumes. Um, After the filing of Otoko-saka, Kurumada took the second period rest. His care until then. This was almost a year. Uh, at that time, he devoted to the reading books of Greek mythology and constellations, which would undoubtedly influence in his the next work. Kurumada knew that the next manga was successful, that would most likely be the end to the her career. But that reason, the master got at the publisher of the set, centered the world and creating something innovation and eyes catching in order to make a large scale successful. That was how to his first ideas began to emerge, and the manga was going to be called Jinga no Jin, and he was going to about karate fighters, and the story was going to make praise in the montaña of Japan. Master had already arranged everything with the publisher when he realized that the protagonists were going to have a super strength protected armor would be necessary, and he also added of crux constellations, Greek mythology was born, and the Saint Seiya Kurumada Third War will finally debut in a weekly Shonen Jump number 1 of 1986, published in December the 1985. The manga reached uh, 28 takubones and achieved successful release, behind both to the animation in 10 months after publishing in the first chapter. The anime is very important, and the anime begins to the captive to only the Japan audience, but also abroad. Often it was sourced in countries such as France, Italy, Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Peru, Brazil, and China, among others. This world reached to some 100 14 episodes are released in Japan between in 1986 and 1989. but TV Arashi. The anime came to starting in standstill 99 and 99 and has animation had called on which the manga. And when in December the production was resumed thanks to the enormous B. Masami Kurumada and Toei and TV Young in December in 1990. Promotion in continued for July 1991, with the animation of added in the OVA format. The project ended to begin and cancelled. Why? Apparently because the market for the OVA was low, also Kurumada also said to the interview that was because he Toei and the sponsor did not agree. That was only CD produced that contained the soundtracks and audiodrama of what is the saga should be be in anime, and therefore it was necessary to wait until in 22 when he perseveres for fans from how the over were made to a animation finally decided to bring this saga to the animation, which ended in 28. Uh, Completely 31 ovas. Uh, reading Reading the manga, Kurumada asked the publisher to finish in Ade's hand due to fatigue. We had to a compilation plans for monthly guidance that was the Gold Saints past all the unedited out behind cancelled. To make why the Suecia new project Say a Paradise, which was animated at children on April 27, 26. The master debut in the Akira Shoten publishing house, which the sequel to his greatest work is Saint Seiya. Unlike Saint Seiya Next Dimension Meigo Shinwa. This is the seventh work and the last to date. Maintaining on regular publication that remain to date, company 7 Taco Bonds to date. Thanks for attention.